The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today I'm on the Nimbus T9. I'm going to do a full performance evaluation and features inspection. This boat was designed to be a versatile sport boat, but to me, it's all about open space and ease of moving about. Let's start at what I think is the most open area, right here in the center. This will be the first gathering area, and it's under a hardtop 6 feet 5 inches overhead. There's U-shaped seating in the back with a table in front, and the table is easily expandable. We can also take this backrest, remove the table, and make a full sun pad. Here's a thoughtful touch. Underneath the seats, there's storage space for your shoes. Just ahead, padded bolster is right on top of a flip. Galley up. It includes a stainless steel sink, gas or electric grill. Storage is underneath. Now, I'm already discovering as I walk through the boat that Nimbus is constantly changing and refining and making things better. For example, these large supports are going to be minimized so that they come just down here and won't be so intrusive. Good idea there. Normally, when we make a seating area into a sun pad, we have a table that lowers down and that becomes the support. But in this case, the backrest is the support because look at this beefy hardware to both sides and how it just drops down into these little notches to hold it in place. Quality right from the start. And above, an 1.5 inch thick stainless steel water sports tow bar with the tow point in the center. Look at the storage solutions. Under both side seats, there's storage underneath, but more impressive, looking under the center seat, this storage is actually a tub, so you can take it out, fill it at home, drop it back in, and when it's out, you have access to the bilge pumps. Storage continues underneath the deck hatch, and this also has a removable bracket for holding the table and the two pedestals. Now, as we make our way aft, the roominess still continues. Take a look at these bulwarks, though. 29 inches high with rails topping out at 31. Both far exceed ABYC standards. The space between the bulwarks and the seating, 12 inches. This gives way to a 7-inch step on the inside, 3 inches on the outside, and now we're at the swim platforms, all covered in teak. There's a reboarding ladder over to the starboard side, and notice the high rails to make it easier to get in and out of the water. But more importantly, notice how both of these platforms extend past the engine, so in the event of an errant docking, the swim platforms take the hit first, not the engine. And notice how the engine can be tilted fully out of the water, even with the forward platform in the closed position. To both sides, storage, and I can't help but notice, this goes very deep. Just outside, oversized cleats at 10 inches. Let's go back to this hardtop. It's standard on this boat. It can be deleted from the build, but for all intents and purposes, this is a standard feature. It includes LED lighting. At the trailing edge, there's a grab rail with 6 integrated rocket launcher style rod holders. On the perimeter, there's a track that can hold a canvas that will go all the way down to the deck to enclose the whole area. It'll attach to these brackets that I'd like to see recessed into the deck. More importantly, what I really like is this opening sunroof, and notice how the edge of it is guttered so that any water on top will not come down inside the boat. The spaciousness continues on the side decks. There's a grab rail right at the aft end of the windshield. Another 10-inch cleat, midships this time, that's convenient. There's a 10-inch step leading up to the 15-inch wide side decks. Bulwarks come up to 17 and top out at 23. At the bow, comfortable seating, 46 inches wide. What I really like about this, though, is take a look at this. If you open up, there's not storage underneath, but this leads instead to the cabin down below. Now we can easily load stuff into the cabin or leave this hatch open and create a nice draft while we're having a sleep at anchor. I like how there are courtesy lights in the bulwarks, and notice this thoughtful touch. At the curve of the trunk cabin, just opposite, notice how the bulwarks curve out to accommodate. There's a 13-inch elevated platform fully forward. It's also covered in teak, and notice there's a split bow rail design so we can easily accommodate bow end docking and boarding. Underneath the hatch, there's a Lumar windlass leading to a through-the-stem anchor. Plenty of room and easy access for the road storage. The helm ergonomics is obviously the key word. Very comfortable positioning behind the helm. The windshield frame right in my line of sight as we're going slow, but up on plane I'm looking down underneath it, but consider that I'm a relatively short captain, so that's to be expected. Compass is right in line with the helm, and it's a soft touch dash. 16-inch Garmin display, and this is also keyed in to the Mercury engine, so we've got all of our instrumentation here, no need for gauges. Over on the side, there's a small cubby just below the Fusion stereo, the digital throttle and shift right alongside. Bow thruster control, again, nice and ergonomic. Drink holders, I'd like to see those be a little bit bigger. While they can hold a bottle of water, that's not all that we put in a drink holder, so those could be a little bit bigger. SmartCraft gauge over on the left-hand side of the helm, and yes, we do have a tilt wheel. You'll notice this, zip wake trim tab control. Over on the port hand side, lighting switches, a cubby for putting more stuff, and underneath, look at this, refrigerator. As roomy and versatile as this boat is on deck, she's equally capable as an overnighter. Let's take a look. Every boat this size is going to be a compromise, so while we may not be having a ballroom dance down here, there's certainly plenty enough room to move around. Headroom right at the entrance, 4 feet 11 inches, which relieves 3 feet 5 inches over the seat, 2 feet 5 inches over the berth. V-berth makes a comfortable sleeping area. There are storage pockets to the aft bulkhead, more behind me. In addition to these pockets, there's more storage along the side, plus underneath the step. Head is just inside here. Roomy enough, 4 feet 11 inches of overhead clearance. To the starboard side is a long mirror just above the sink and plenty of open counter space. And there's also a hull side window over to the starboard side. I always like maneuvering boats in tight areas. It really brings out the best or the worst in the boat. And here, we're coming out of the breakdown of the Miami Boat Show. So really tight areas. It seems to be really showing off the nice handling characteristics of this boat. She's got a very tight turning radius even without the bow thruster, but utilizing the bow thruster makes it even better. So let's look over the numbers that we got for the T9. She's got a length overall of 30 feet 6 inches, a beam of 9 feet 7 inches, and a draft of 17 inches. With an empty weight of 6,173 pounds, 42 gallons of fuel, and 4 people on board, we had an estimated test weight of 7,295 pounds. With the 350 horsepower Mercury Verado, turning a 14.5 by 17 inertia propeller and run up to 5,700 RPM, we reached our top speed of 44.8 miles an hour. Best cruise seemed to come in at 4,500 RPM and 31 miles an hour. At that speed, the 15.3 gallon per hour fuel burn translated into 2 miles per gallon and a range of 154 statute miles, all while still holding back a 10% reserve of the boat's 84 gallon total fuel capacity. She's quick to respond to the helm. We reached planing speed in an average of 5.4 seconds, accelerated to 20 miles an hour in 16.2, and 30 came and went in 23.9 seconds. While she's got sport boat capabilities and she's certainly a functional water sports platform, you're not going to be doing an awful lot of cranking and banking. In heavy turns, there is a little bit of ventilation going on through the propeller, so keep your turns a little more sedate. All turns, however, are very comfortable. She'll come around tightly in a turn and not so much grab to throw everybody to one side, but slide nicely around the turn and come around in the opposite direction. Just keep it gentle, not at high speed, so that you won't get the ventilation going on. In those high turns, no chine walk whatsoever. Everything remained comfortable. Going through chop, well, we had relatively calm conditions on our test day, so I can't comment on how she handles rough water, but crossing the wakes of our camera platform, well, that was nice. Smooth transition across the waves, only a hull slap if we went above cruising speed again. So keep that cruising speed in mind and everything works out very comfortably. Go above that cruising speed, a little bit of hull slap going on. 36 inches at the bow, 12 inches at the swim platform, but what's most impressive is this beefy rub rail. This boat's intended to be used as a tender at times, so look at this rub rail going all the way around the boat. I have to say, all things considered, the Nimbus T9 is an impressive boat. Roominess is the first thing that attracts me to it, but mostly the functionality all throughout the boat. Comfort, functionality, and ease of use. It all comes together on the T9 from Nimbus, and that's my full features inspection and performance evaluation. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.